Hey guys, Moose here. Welcome back to another episode of Life is Feudal Forest Village. We need to figure out our food situation here. Ideally, we'll begin by clearing that, which we have very little time to do because guess what? It's spring already. That is not great. I don't even really have room for that big of a farm here. Damn, what am I gonna do? I can go right here. In fact, I should go right here. (22 by 14). How big is this one? Right, I have to... 20 by 20, so I really need, ideally, a pretty big one here. Too steep. I don't have time to worry about terraforming. I can't afford that. Two farms is not the right way to handle this. 24 by 14. 20 by 20 is... How do I do that math? It's 400, so 24 times 14. My brain doesn't work. It's too late in the evening for me to be able to do this in my head. 24 by 14 is 336, so it's substantially smaller, but guess what? Work needs to be done. No choices can be made like that right now. We need it to go. That's it. Alright, I gotta turn the fan on. I had hoped to do this without a fan, but it's already killing me. I don't know what the hell, like, summer sucks so bad. It's just perpetually really hot in here. I am so done with... One, I'm done with... Well, if I'm very lucky, next summer I'll be able to move, but probably not. Probably it'll be winter after next, but, or after that, which would be much worse. Speaking of cold, it's still -1. We're in mid-spring. Killing me with this. Alright, there we go. Fishermen out, and we need builders. Please get that built, like, yesterday. Okay, there we go. We have 9 hunters. That's... I think we're alright. Like, we're not well off, but we're okay. We're in a tolerable position, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, I'm ready for winter. And we're getting there, man. It's already like mid-July. Time's blowing by. Next month is August. That's kind of officially fall in my book. August is still pretty hot, though. At least around here. I don't know. It won't be that bad, but it'll still, like, get up there. It's still gonna suck. Like, right now it's not that bad outside. The issue is inside. There's just no freaking... I've said it before, no circulation. Can't really do anything. Alright. Oh, right. You need to be told to make potatoes. Go ahead, do potatoes. And do it quickly, please, because we are in a crunch. We'll put 3 people on fishing just to kind of try to handle this situation. We have stone, not a terribly large amount. We need to build a well. I should probably do that right now. I hate this. I can't center it. I could center it like this. It's as good as it gets. Maybe pixel perfect is slightly to the left or right, but that's as good as we're gonna manage. Oh, come on, you're not really hungry. There's meat. Go get meat. There's plenty of meat for everyone. We need a really good harvest this year. I needed to maybe figure out some better farming options. if I terraform this area, I could probably throw another one here. I think that's what I gotta do. Oh, someone died of old age. Guess we've been at this for a little while now. Come on, dude, what are you doing? Get out of my farm. Bears don't eat potatoes, it's common knowledge, come on. Get out of here. Got nothing for you here, my dude. Take one person off fishing, because let's be honest, fishing probably isn't really accomplishing a whole hell of a lot for us regardless. Get the builder, they'll probably work on the well, but who knows, maybe some terraforming too. Yeah, I think they are working on the terraforming, so sweet. Yeah, I really wish it was cold, I wish I didn't have to work, I wish I could focus on studying. I really, really am starting to kind of go down the road of picking up programming a bit more. Because I'm doing it more and more at work, and as I free up time at work, I can potentially say, recently job training has been discussed at work, and a lot of what they talk about is, oh, well, this is your job, so we're going to train you on this very specific job and give you, like, very specific knowledge. What I'd really like to do is say, hey, you know what, I've demonstrated that programming ability and technical skills in general are valuable for this position, so why don't you pay for me to go get training in programming? Because that's what I want for both professional life and personal life, as far as hobbies go. And it's also beneficial to the company. So why don't we make each other happy, and I'll go get some good grades and learn how to program. Better than I already do. I already know, generally, some, like... The problem is, most of my skills and knowledge are from, like... Did I really... I can't make it 20 by 20. This is in the way. Well, that's a shame. What can I do? $18 by 26 is as far as I can go. I think given that we don't really have a set area, we just do what we can. And it makes sense. The problem is now we've cut off our area. We're gonna have to probably deconstruct that eventually. Pretty soon too, because that's like kind of where we'd be putting another barn. So the other barn will just have to face this one, but yeah. The biggest issue I have is all of my programming skills are either self-taught or from the 90s. Or, well, early 2000s, really. Pretty much, like, the last programming class I properly took was probably, like, 2007, maybe? Like a full day. I know that's not the early 2000s, but a decade, still, it's a decade ago. It feels like the early 2000s. You gotta forgive me, I'm old. I was born in 87. In my head, I'm like, come on, like, the 90s were just 10 years ago. In reality, it's almost 20 years ago. It's ridiculous. Time flies so fast. But, yeah, I probably need to brush up. And there's specific things I need to pick up on. I don't really... The thing is, I don't really care about a particular language, because a language I could pick up whenever... Like, that's easy. I understand the general concept of programming and the way things work, so... There's no systematic things that I need to pick up. Anything that I'd pick up with a new language, probably we're mostly just talking about syntax for the most part. That's not 100% true, but probably, like, if I was going to focus on something, it'd be like, hey, you know, how do mobile applications work? Because that's a little bit more... Mobile applications don't really work the same way as, like, computer program, I don't think. It's kind of... It's hard to explain. But it's more rigid. It's more rigid, I think. Which is a good thing in that case, because a phone is not like... Any given computer could run Windows, Mac OS, Windows, or Linux, whatever, Unix, it doesn't matter. For the most part. That's not always true, but for the most part. If you buy a computer off the shelf or you make your own or whatever. You can pretty much put whatever the hell you want on it, to a degree. And if you try hard enough, you can probably put it on damn near anything. But a phone is like, you really don't have much or any control over the hardware, and your control over the software is very limited. It's not like a PC, not at all. So it's a very different to me, it's a different environment to program in. As a hobbyist who hasn't gone too deep yet, to me it's very different. And I could be completely wrong about that, but that's why I need to go pursue training. That's been the biggest... I'm always very quick to dismiss training and say, I'll just learn it for myself. But training keeps you motivated, and it's also more correct, and you actually have someone you can talk to and ask questions of, so it's a little bit easier for you to actually, like, accomplish something, which is what I would like to do, so... See, there you go, now I've got a well right here, and it's no problem. They pretty much immediately put the fire out. That's why the well's there. Especially because this is the highest elevation building, so it's obviously going to get hit by lightning much more often. Which is actually hilarious and beneficial, because I can see this being a strategy where you deliberately build certain buildings higher so that they catch on fire. I think there are other situations where it doesn't work that way, because if you remember in the old town, we had kilns that caught on fire periodically. I don't think that was lightning, I think that was just it's a kiln and it caught on fire. But I could be completely wrong about that. I don't know that for sure. I'm just guessing because kilns are like not that tall and it was surrounded by taller buildings, so I'd be surprised if it was just the kiln getting hit by lightning. Now, actually, you know what? No, I'm stupid. That's not it at all. The kiln wasn't the first thing to catch fire. Now that I think back, it was the schoolhouses, I think, that were to the south of the kilns. The schoolhouse or the smithy, whichever it was, would get hit by lightning because it was the taller building. And because everything was so packed there, it would spread to the kilns. And the reason it was really bad on the kilns was because, unlike other buildings, which, like these, are much bigger, a kiln is like the size of a well. So there were a ton of kilns all packed right next to each other, so the fire could spread in more directions for further. Whereas with a barn or something, it's just like, well, you got 4, and it's a pretty significant distance to travel to get to the next one. So it's, you know, it's a larger thing. It occupies more tiles. The kilns were smaller and more tightly packed, so they caught fire, even though they were not the ones that originally got hit by the lightning and caught on fire. Anyway, that's what you get. Bad memory. Don't remember things quite perfectly, but I'm like 99% sure that was the way it worked out typically. We are not harvesting the way that I would like. That was nice to see that, I'm guessing that was a moose, get killed right in front of the barn. It's a good sign that our hunters are doing good work. Hopefully they don't deplete the forest, but given that it seems to have grown back pretty thickly, I don't think they're in danger of doing that. Not yet, anyway. Alright, this is, I think this has been a pretty good year now. We got 2 new farms up and running. Neither one of them is to the dimensions that I would like to see, but, you know, we're doing a thing. Progress is being made. You can't complain too much about that. I'm tempted to deconstruct the fishermen's lodges, but there's sort of no reason to do that. That would just be a waste of time. It doesn't benefit us to deconstruct them, so... Tornado's been spotted. Those are pointless, so who cares? I should probably... I think we're at the point where you get tools and stone going again. In fact, let's put 3 people in the mines. I really hope no one dies of an accident, but we're alright. We have a pretty good workforce here. 7 farming, 9 hunting, space for 5 more on the farm. Next year is going to be better for us for food, and we're already... You gotta understand, yeah, we have 3k. 3k is not that much, but we got to 3k from 0. So within that context, this is a major improvement. Probably we're going to be able to start seriously stockpiling food, and I think to that end I'm going to probably go for another barn here. I think that's alright. That's a good move. We're nowhere close to filling this one up, but I'd like to get rid of this one. Because the thing, if we clear this out, now this is farmland, right? We're in a little bit better shape. Let's kick this up to like 6 people in the mines, and then 2 builders, and I'll be happy with that. Tools are being made at a reasonably good pace. I can be happy about that. We're already 5 up from where we were when I last looked, 39 to 44. We really need to make sure we stay on top of tools, because the problem is I think tools actually matter. It's incredibly hard to quantify it, but it feels like people are way more productive when they have tools. And productivity is like the lifeblood of any kind of like management town builder game like this, because productivity means that's... If you remember, I think it was the last episode I was talking about, like, hey, to succeed you need this percentage of people doing food. By giving them better and better tools, you are putting the people in a position where, okay, well, you needed 60% on food before, but because you have good tools, now you only need 40%. Because you improve the efficiency of them so much that now you've freed up 20% of your workforce, and you can say, okay, well, now I've got 20% of my workforce free, what do I want to do? And now you can pursue other stuff, like mining and logging and whatever else needs to be done. Get a lot of good work done because of that. So it's a good situation. Anyway, mining is going nicely. I'm pretty content there. I'll throw another 2 people at it because that's what we're short on right now. Toolmaker dude needs it too, but we're up to 50. I'm not worried about that at all. It'll get done when it gets done. And we're still over 3,000 food, even though we've been in winter for a little bit here, so... all things considered, this is going rather well. Probably we don't even need this farm. But because I'm likely to go basically expand my... I'm going to expand my population by 50% by building another one of these houses. Pretty soon, I think having that farm is a really good choice. The problem is, I've kind of screwed myself. I can't expand this way. So I can either expand this way or this way. I don't really know how I feel about that, especially because this way I'm starting to... I could actually elevate it. That'd be cool. More stairs to deal with, but it'd be interesting at least. If I want to sacrifice... Well, I don't know. If I can make it... See, what I'd really like to do in a perfect world is if I could get another row of houses here, go out one more, and then have stairs going up, that would be perfect. But I feel like I might hit ground before then. Yeah, I don't... That's like really close. That could go either way, honestly. I think I might actually make it, though. Yeah, I think we might be okay there. A little bit of a coin toss, but I think we can make that work. So let's actually... Well, no, we're short on stone. Let's not be stupid. We don't need to rush stone too much here. We're already depleting that resource on a fairly regular basis at the moment. Now what I would like to do is, if I can do this in the winter, if I can demolish this, that'd be fantastic. Because if I'm going to move all that crap, now's the time to do it. Might be good to move this one first, but I don't know, 50 feet. Well, no, let's do this one in the winter, because this stuff actually matters. This is like, whatever. If you can't access it for a little bit, it's not like we have animals to keep alive, so who cares, right? It's not like a hay situation. But it's got to happen in the winter, because that's when we have manpower available to do all the moving, so that's what we need to focus on. It's just a... Is that a bear? No, that's a warthog. Or a boar. Probably a boar. I don't actually... Oh, she just walked up to it and murdered it. Wow. Thought hunters would use bows and arrows, but nope. The wildlife doesn't really care, so, you know. Why use arrows which get expended? Well, they don't actually ever really get expended in the real world unless you hit something bad. But then again, I guess if you're hunting and you're using, probably in this case, stone arrows, they'd probably be, like, the shaft would probably be fine, the fletching would probably be fine, but the arrowhead probably would break every time you fired it, right? Unless you missed bone and you just hit flesh. But even if you just hit flesh, I would imagine it would break on the way out, right? I have no idea how sturdy stone arrowheads are, and I'm actually genuinely curious about that now. Because you find, like, archaeological finds are, at least for Native Americans, very frequently stone arrowheads. Or obsidian arrowheads, depending. But, like, that's a super common thing to find. I don't even know if it's archaeological or if people are making new ones, and they're selling them in gift shops, which is probably more the way that one's happening. But, like, there are, like, finds of arrowheads, and I would imagine that you would probably find those because they would have to have a bunch of extras since they would break so consistently. So to me that means they're probably not very durable. Whereas shafts and fletching, like, why would they ever break? Unless he really fucked up. I think they would mostly be fine. Fletching you might have to replace periodically, but I would imagine the shaft probably doesn't break too often. Unless it's fired at a person. Or the animal lives. Then obviously you have to replace the whole arrow, but that's a different issue. I always forget where the deconstruct thing is. Okay, everyone comes out to work on this. So you guys are gonna have to go work on farming momentarily anyway, so let's get you in there. Yeah, none of this really matters. Even the food, we have so much elsewhere. We still have another 600 elsewhere. We're probably fine. And a ton of meat. So I'm not too worried about emptying this out, but it is great that they're doing it fairly quickly. I just think this kind of thing is better to do early than wait, because if you wait, it becomes much more of an issue, as we saw in our last playthrough. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's episode, so thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thankfully, we avoided starvation. If you did enjoy it, there's always the Twitch streams over at twitch.tv/electronicmoose, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. PST, 9 to 11 p.m. EST. Feel free to come by and check out a stream. You can also follow me on Twitter for a notification when I go live. I will post on there, as I am tending to stream more frequently than just those 3 days, but not on a permanent basis. So feel free to follow me there, Electronic Moose there as well. And yeah, if you're not interested in any of that, thanks for watching on YouTube, and I will see you next time. Take care.